In this session, we will look at the types of insurtechs that have come up or that have been innovated, that have been used in the insurance sector, and how it is impacting um, the insurance service delivery, and how it's helping to ensure inclusiveness, and how it's helping to improve the entire insurance service delivery. There are various types of insurtechs that have come into use. Um, we will briefly look at some of them and look at how they have been applied in the insurance service delivery. So the first one we will talk about is the digital platforms, mainly internet, smartphones, and we know how the internet and the smartphones are being used to improve insurance service delivery. So now a lot of insurance companies do have web-based portals where consumers can go and apply for insurance product and fill proposal forms, answer questions, basically do onboarding. We have smartphone apps that insurance companies are using to offer services, to respond to complaints, to process claims. And so digital platforms and the internet is actively being used. There are web-based portals, apps, and other applications that are being used to sell insurance. The other aspect of insurtech or type of insurtech is the Internet of Things, the IoT. And this is basically a network of physical devices, say buildings, vehicles, even wristwatches that have the digits or devices that collect and transmit data or exchange data between those devices. So you could have somebody who say has a wristwatch, and this wristwatch collects information or stores information on his level of activity during the day. You have these devices that's able to check temperatures at home and security situations in the house. So these devices are able to be connected to each other, and they talk to each other, and they help insurance companies. For example, the smartwatches are used by life insurance companies to check to monitor health status of people, help them to underwrite, to price, and of course the home devices are used for household insurances. We also have telematics and telemetry, and these are mainly telecommunication processes and devices that are used to gather information and transmit them from the point of activity to the point of computing. So you could have, for example, vehicles which have gadgets in it that are able to transmit the driver's behavior at traffic lights on the highways, at junctions, to some point where this data is gathered and analyzed and used by insurance companies to assess risks and to price the premiums. So these are used especially in advanced driver assistance systems, health monitoring, and home monitoring situations to price insurance and to do risk monitoring and risk management. We know big data analytics, and that is in common use by all sorts of industries. The retail industry, the manufacturing industries, all use big data. For insurance companies, they are used to develop product offerings. So usually when you go to a retail shop or some financial institution, you are given some kind of loyalty card, or you enter into some kind of database to put your details there. And what is done is that your behavior at certain point and over a certain period are captured, and these are used to determine the kinds of products that you need, the kinds of items that could be cross-sold to you and how you could be helped in the event of, say, claims or when you have a problem. So insurance companies mainly use big data and data analytics too for things like product offering, cross-selling, claims processing, and other processes. Now, we also have comparators and robo-advisors, and these are mainly automated algorithm-based softwares that enable consumers to go to certain website platforms to compare features of insurance product, prices, premiums, and coverages, exclusions, to compare product offerings and be able to make selections without any intervention from insurance companies or agents or brokers. They on their own are able to, and this is something that is very common around the globe. A lot of insurance companies, or not just insurance companies, I think a lot of industries are using this, and people are able to go and compare and see what they actually want. Now, we also have the machine learning and artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is where a technology which enables computer systems to interact with human beings, say engage them in conversations, solicit certain information from them, answer their questions, and provide certain basic services that they need without any human involvement. These again are based on algorithm-based logic programming, which helps the individuals to jump onto these artificial intelligence platforms and are able to onboard themselves, are able to find solutions to their problems, able to find answers to their complaint of say insurance product or insurance companies without the active involvement. Machine learning is based on artificial intelligence, and it sort of helps to do things like verify losses, quantify losses, and basically help to determine claims costs and other issues that it could be used for. Another big insurtech application is the distributed ledger technology, DLT. And this is basically an asset database that can be shared across a network of multiple sites, multiple machines. So as a record of a transaction, and it is usually put in a database, very secure database. It's not possible to change it. It's not possible to move it around, and it is shared. This is used, or this is applied in a number of instances to help the insurance service delivery. For example, in the insurance space, insurance companies can easily view the claims history of certain lines of business, of certain people, or certain product. So they can predict the claims projections, they can study the trends, and they can confirm, they can actually reduce claims fraud using this. An application of distributed ledger technology is a blockchain, and then the smart contract. The smart contract is actually used to verify legal contract, used to verify, execute, and to perform contract. So, for example, there could be a system that could have an if-then program which says that if a car is covered by insurance and it's involved in an accident, then a claim is payable. And in this case, the system is used to verify, one, that a vehicle which applies for insurance actually applies for a claim is actually insured and was involved in an accident. So because there are records of insurance contracts and records of accidents data, this system is able to be used to verify whether the car is insured and whether it was involved in an accident, and therefore a claim is payable. We also do have things like the peer-to-peer and usage-based and demand insurance. Peer-to-peer is usually when people come together and pool their own risks and contribute monies into it and are able to create for themselves an insurance pool, a private pool, if you want to call it so, just for themselves for particular risks that they face. Usage-based insurance is a new business model that is coming into being, especially for auto insurers, where the insurance is activated when they get out to drive, and it is also based on the behavior of the driver. And another variant of it is on-demand insurance, which covers risks that the customer faces at a particular point in time. So it is only when the risk becomes relevant, then it starts running. For example, travel insurance, and it's activated only when the customer is traveling, say on a bus from one city to the other, then it's activated, then the customer pays for insurance for that particular journey. So basically, these are insurtech applications that is gradually transforming the insurance service delivery, and it is important as regulators to get to understand how they work, because they impact on the market. They have implications for market conduct, and they have implications for stability as well.